Hello, 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 everybody. It is Sneaker Scenes, and I am your host for Mind Your Business. And tonight I have a special guest. Her name is Courtney Arlesia Clardy, and she is going to be talking to us about mental health. And I have got to get her bio pulled up because, for some strange, oddball reason, my printer is not wanting to work right now. And it never fails. When I got something good going on, my printer wants to act up or my internet wants to act up. But tonight, we ain't getting ready to let the devil stop us because we getting ready to get this thing cracking because this young lady has got some inspirational stuff to talk to us about. She has got some groundbreaking information to share. And we know it's Mindful Monday. And so I'm grateful that she chose tonight to come on the show because what she's going to be sharing with us is going to go over in tonight's Monday mindfulness so we can meditate on these words that she gives us. So I hope you have a pen and a pad ready so you can get this information so that you can be informed when you leave on this call. And then hopefully you will join me again tonight so that you can get some more information and meditate on these words. And so she is going to be able to explain this information a little bit better after I go over it with you because I'm going to have to ask her some questions about some of the stuff that I'm going to be reading here in just a few minutes. So give me a second. Actually, I can't even take no more time to look that up. But give me a second while I pull this here up
Okay.
because I know I got it up here. So give me just a minute. Y'all know I ain't a professional. Haha.
No worries, no worries, no worries. We got you.
Never that. Okay, so give me just a second. Let me get my email pulled up. Um, I could pull that up on my phone. Give me a minute. Oh hush. So, anyways, I hope everybody's been doing good and had a good weekend. I hope you were able to see our show last night and our reflection. It was pretty good. I was filled up. So, hopefully, you guys were able to get filled up too. Um, so, here we go. Let's talk about our guest. Oh, no, don't do that to me. It just said I don't have an app that can open that. Okay, well, hold on because I have the documents right here. Give me just a second.
Okay.
About Miss Courtney.
And just a
Here it
quick
is.
correction. My last name is
Yes,
pronounced Clardy.
Clardy.
Clardy, yes, ma'am.
Clardy. Miss Courtney Clardy. Thank you.
Yes,
And you
ma'am.
know what? When somebody don't say your name right, correct them because that's
Always.
important. It is
Hmm.
important. If somebody does not say your name right, do not just smile and grin and get through it. Correct them.
Hmm.
And did I say your middle name correct?
Absolutely. Hmm.
Arlesia.
Hmm.
Okay, Clardy, because I'm telling you, it's important how somebody
Hmm.
says your name because that's what you're known by. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this young lady's bio. Miss Courtney Arlesia is a LMSW,
Hmm.
and she is an everyday woman with an extraordinary thirst for God. So she is a woman after my own heart because she loves the Lord. So already she's an A plus on my list. She prides herself on being a shining example of strength, empowerment, and inspiration to those around her. She is a social worker, a career focused, parent educated, mental health services, and criminal justice. Listen, look here. Okay, look, listen. This
It's
is a
the way you're reading the
career
bio for me.
oriented woman right here who currently provides psychotherapy services and
Hmm.
specializes in treating trauma, grief, and child loss, anxiety, parenting, depression, and more. She has a background in mental health and knowledge in helping others improve their overall sense of well being. She believes there is healing in transparency, and her life experiences is beneficial to others. And tonight, she is here to share those life experiences with us. And I am grateful that when I reached out to her without hesitation, she said yes. And so, and all the people that she could have said yes to, I was one of them. So I thank you. So without any further ado, tell us who you are. I mean, because I've already said who you are, but I want you to tell us who you are, what you do, better than I can tell people what you do, and why you do it. See, I said your name was Clarity, but I want you to give us clarity on who you are.
So I love the way that you read my bio, um, and put your own little twist on it. It was very, very, very nice. I love that. So again, I'm Courtney Arlesia, and I'm a licensed master social worker, and I currently provide psychotherapy services. I'm also a writer and an author and a speaker. In addition
Look
to
at that.
that, I'm just your everyday, regular, degular, smuggler girl. I love the Lord. I love to laugh. I love to dance. I love my nieces and nephews. Shout out to them always and forever. And I believe that there's healing in transparency for sure. So a lot of the work that I do, it started way before I even um, got these degrees and started doing the work that I do because I just feel like I have a story to tell to help other people. So I really started speaking and writing and things way before the degrees and stuff took place.
Amen. Amen. So, what opted you to answer this call? Because it's a calling. So, what made you hear this call and answer it?
I have no idea because I think I ran from it for a very long time. Um, So I always tell people for me to be in the space that I am doing what I do, although I absolutely love what I do, I get to wake up every morning and say, I love doing this. After I see my clients, I get to say, I love doing this. But how I got here is definitely God's choice and not one of my own. So in undergrad, I actually majored in recording industry because I just thought that that's what I was going to do. I was going to be in the music industry. I was going to be an artist manager. I was going to find all these new artists, and yeah, I was going to be popping. And then it changed, and here I am, a therapist. But I got my minor in recording industry, so I still dibble and dabble in music, and I find ways to incorporate music into my practice now. So yeah, I wish I had the answer to like, okay, Courtney, when did you say yes? Why did you say yes? And I just was running for a while. Sometimes I still think I run.
Yeah,
But I know that it's better to say yes to God than it is to say no.
yeah. Would you consider this your ministry?
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
definitely believe. And so I was really, really close to being a minister, an ordained minister. Um, but I'm glad that that didn't happen the way that I thought it was going to happen. And it may happen years from now, but like right now in this season, I do believe with my whole heart that the work that I do is for God's kingdom. So,
yeah. And in itself, it is a ministry, and it is when the way you speak about it, and the way you say it makes you happy, you love what you do. It's a
mhm.
call, and when you are called to do something and you run from it, you know that God's hands is all over it because
Gotta
it's
be.
it's something that is like, oh God, I can't do that. It's too big for me. But then
Hmm.
when you really get grounded and rooted in it, and it
Hmm.
inspires you to wake up every morning and you feel
Hmm.
good about doing that thing, it's a ministry in itself.
Hmm.
So, was there something in your life that led you to be able to speak to what you now do?
So, I've been through a lot of different things, and I would say in 2013 I had a second trimester miscarriage, and I gave birth to a little boy. His name is Caleb, um, and that really pushed me. Like I said, I was already like, I had like women's groups and Bible studies and little different things that I was doing. But I think after I lost my son is what really kind of just drove me into like speaking and things like that. And so I started sharing a lot of my story after I had my miscarriage because so many women one in four women, let me just give some statistics for people. One in four women will suffer pregnancy loss. So you will have a miscarriage, stillborn, different number of things that can happen within pregnancy loss, and no one talks about it. It is taboo for us to talk about or speak about, and people will say, "Oh, don't worry about it. You'll have another baby." But one in four women suffer from PCOS. One in four women suffer from endometriosis. So there's so many things that we go through as women and nobody talks about. And it wasn't until I lost my son that I realized so many other women went through that. So I kind of just started telling my story, and then it's just kind of been up from there. I just been going on.
You know, it's so funny that you brought that up because I had a miscarriage
Mhm.
and I was very young when that happened.
Mhm.
And I was at a point of I really thought I had messed up because I was like, I'm standing before God with God. I told you I was gonna be married and I was gonna do things right, and
Mhm.
I did everything in the wrong way. And
Mhm.
when I had the miscarriage, I felt like, and I'm just being honest, I
Mhm.
felt like I was being punished. And
Mhm.
I really took it hard that, okay,
Mhm.
God, I messed up. If you just give me a second chance, I
Mhm.
promise you I will do the right thing. I promise you that
Mhm.
I will turn my life around. I promise you,
Mhm.
you know. And with that, I got married, I got a husband, but guess
Mhm.
what? I couldn't give my husband any children. And
Mhm.
so, we were married for 3 years, and I was fine with that. I wasn't trying to have kids for the first 3 years. And then
Mhm.
5 years went by and I wasn't trying to have any kids. And so then we ended up taking care of his niece. And so after 2 years of taking care of her, I started, realizing that at this point I was in my later 30s that I hadn't had any children yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, God, when am I going to have a baby? And so I started reflecting and I started thinking, oh, wow, I'm in my 30s now and I haven't had any children.
Mhm.
But I started thinking, well, God gave me this little girl,
Mhm.
and I was excited that, okay, well, I messed up when I was younger. And so now I'm starting to think again that, again, I was being punished. But
Mhm.
God was showing me some grace by putting this little girl in my life. And so that's why I was looking at it like, oh, well, God,
Mhm.
you were showing me grace by putting this child in my life. And
Mhm.
so then some time went on and I was like, okay, is something wrong with me? Because
Mhm.
people before we had God, and I call her my daughter because we raised her whole life. She's 16 now. And so people would say, "You guys don't want kids? What's wrong with you? You don't like kids?"
Mhm.
And it
Mhm.
started making me feel some kind of way. So I'm glad
Mhm.
you brought that up because people don't get what it's like when, if you're struggling to get pregnant or
Mhm.
if you had a miscarriage or if you are having complications or maybe you just don't want kids, period. Or,
Yeah, right.
nobody really knows. And so now I've raised so many children. And right now we have 5 kids that we're raising, and I haven't given birth to any of them. And
Mhm.
instead of me looking at it now as God was punishing me, God had a different way for me to
Mhm.
go,
Mhm.
and I'm
Mhm.
grateful for
Mhm.
the children that I have, regardless of how I have them. I feel
Mhm.
like God trusts me with these children. And even
Mhm.
though I was younger and I messed up or whatever, I was able to have a second chance and I repented. So I thank you for telling your story and sharing that because for a long time I really beat myself up about that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's good that we have people like you that understand what that is and will speak
Mhm.
to that. So thank you.
Yeah.
That's not my story
Yeah.
because I don't tell that story, but
Yeah.
it's good when you can share it.
Yeah. And I will say I had another miscarriage in 2018. It was a first trimester miscarriage. That miscarriage, both of my miscarriages were very, very hard, but that one, I would never forget. Like the next day, I could just feel my body changing. I was just like, I don't know who this person is, but I am a whole different person right now. And so I slipped into increased anxiety. I've always had anxiety, but it increased after I had the miscarriage, and also I experienced a lot of depressed moods. Um, and so, yeah, there's so much more to unpack with that whole story. But actually, I was thinking about it this morning because it happened July the 3rd of 2018. And so, yeah, it's amazing to look back on where I was then and where I am now. And and I'm a whole different person too, and I'm so much better, and I'm healed, and I'm still moving through these things. But that place that I was and that I started to slip into, oh, that Courtney, she went through some things for sure.
Yeah. So, how long have you been involved in mental health? How long have you been practicing?
Oh, so I've been doing, so I graduated with my bachelor's degree in social work in 2013.
Okay.
Um, so I always say in since 2012 because we really started interning then before we got our degrees, and I think I've done different avenues of it. So like I didn't really get into like maybe working at the mental health hospitals and things until I was maybe in grad school, I think. But I've been doing this social work thing for a while now, and so it's all encompassed and incorporated with one another. So yeah.
Now, do you feel like when you were going through your loss that your background helped you through it, or do you feel like it,
Oh,
having the knowledge that you
mm-mm,
had, or it was
mm-mm,
totally
mm-mm,
out the window?
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm,
Can you
mm-mm.
speak to that so people can understand what that looks like?
I was not a social worker. I was not a therapist. I was a human being, broken,
Absolutely.
depressed, sad, didn't know if I was coming left or right. I remember after I lost my son Caleb, I actually was a parent educator when I lost my son Caleb. And so I remember, and I took some time off because I had to give birth, and so I didn't get the 6 weeks off. I got 4 weeks off. Um, but when I went back to work, I'm going back to our office was in a child care center. And I would never forget one of the parents that I was serving came and shared with me that she was thinking about um, not keeping her child that she had just found out that she was pregnant with. My very first day back. My very first day back. She wasn't aware of my situation and what I went through. Um, but from that moment, how I responded to her and how I responded to everything that was around me, I knew I could get through it. But no, I didn't clock in as a social worker for my own. No, 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 no. And I said,
Yeah.
and so and, when I think about um, September 2018, I think it was September 2018 is when I started therapy. And so I mean I'm a social worker and a therapist sitting on a therapist's couch, and it wasn't, and I dealt with shame and guilt for a while because I'm like, I should know these things, I should know how to get through these things, but the reality of it is I'm a human, and I know my mom has always said to me, a doctor doesn't perform surgery on themselves.
Absolutely.
You have never seen
Absolutely.
a doctor go out here and perform surgery on themselves, no matter how smart, no matter how wise, no matter how educated they are. And so we all still need that type of, we need the space to be human. We need the space to be human. And so I am very thankful for those who served me in therapy and things, that they allowed me to be human, and they never looked at me and said, "Well, you're a therapist, so you need to figure this out, or you just studied this for years. You got the tool." Like nobody ever demeaned me like that because I would find that demeaning.
Absolutely. Can you tell us what a LMSW is and what
It's a licensed
that's?
it's a licensed master social worker.
Okay, because I mean, a lot of people don't know what that terminology
Hmm.
is, and so I
Hmm.
just want them to be aware and understand
Hmm.
what that is, so they can know. Um,
Hmm.
what what do you say to someone that is going through something and really doesn't know which way to turn or what they should do or who they should talk to? What is the first step that they should take?
That is a really, really good question. And I think that's hard for me to answer because everything is such a case by case
Hmm.
scenario. Some people, you don't know exactly what to say. You sometimes you just have to be there to listen to them. And then to be honest, that's hard. I don't know what to say to help you. Um, So I guess I would need like a different scenario to kind of figure out what I would actually say because I think it's
No,
always it's
that's
different depending on the
perfect.
person.
I think that's perfect because I think what happens is I love the honesty. People are always looking to answer a question.
Hmm.
And I think too many times we're not honest.
Hmm.
We always are looking for a solution. And
Hmm.
we can't just be an ear. We
Hmm.
can't just say, I don't know what to tell you right now.
Hmm.
But what I
Hmm.
can tell you is I'm here for you.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you right now.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can't tell you what I would do in your situation,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I can be here
Hmm.
for you.
Right,
What
right,
does
right.
being there for somebody look like?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know until we're in that situation,
Yeah.
because I can tell you that the other day, one of my girls, a friend that she knows, passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And as a mother, I don't know what to feel in that moment because I still have my children.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking about having a miscarriage, I can relate, but I don't know how to relate
Mm-hmm.
having two miscarriages. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
when we first heard about it, that impact, I don't know how to reach out to this mother and what to
Mm-hmm.
say in that moment. I had to take a step back and think about, wow, that's a lot to take in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? That's a lot to say to try to console someone. What do
Mm-hmm.
you do
Mm-hmm.
in a moment like that?
Mm-hmm.
Say, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for what you're going through. Of course
Mm-hmm.
you are. But there's
Mm-hmm.
no words that you can say to touch
Mm-hmm.
somebody and reach them where they're at in that
Yeah.
moment. No matter
Yeah.
what you say, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
console them
Yeah.
right there where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And you want them to feel a certain way or not go through what they're going through, but you can't, and so thank you for being
Mm-hmm.
honest, because there are so many people that I've asked the question to and they want to give me an answer, and I'm like, you don't need to give me an answer,
Yeah.
just
And
be
I think,
honest.
yeah, I think we find so much, we spend so much time, not find, we spend so much time trying to find the words that the wrong words come out. Because I mean, oh my God, I could probably write a book, and I think I am going to write one about
Yes.
what not to say to people who are grieving, especially to women who have lost children. Don't ever tell her that she will have another one. How do you know that? um and that is not comforting. That is
No,
absolutely not a
it's not.
comforting statement. And there's so many other things that's just not okay to say. So I think it's better to say to people, this is hard, this is tough, and I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to do. Can you tell me how I can help you?
That part.
That's better than trying to figure it out on our own.
I love what you just said. Can you tell me what I can do to help you? Because see, we are so busy trying to figure out what we can do to help you.
Mhm.
I don't know what you need.
Mhm.
Can you
Mhm.
tell me what you need? Because you know what
Mhm.
you need better than
Mhm.
I. That I love that.
Yeah,
We don't look at that.
yeah, I remember when I lost my son Caleb, all I needed was somebody to, I didn't need to talk. I didn't need your text messages. I just needed somebody to come sit in the bedroom with me because I couldn't go to sleep. Unless, at that moment, it felt shameful because I was a grown woman and I couldn't go to sleep. But I just had dealt with a very, very traumatic experience, and it was very hard for me to go to bed. So, like, I would want somebody in the room with me or next to me on the couch so I could just go to sleep because that's what I needed. Um, so asking people, what do you need? How can I help you?
You know, a year ago I had a mental breakdown, and my whole family just was looking at me like I was crazy. And
Hmm.
all I could do, I'm dying on the inside, and I just want
Hmm.
them to just embrace me. I just want you to embrace me. I just want you to
Hmm.
pray for me. I just want you to
Hmm.
embrace me. I don't want you to think
Hmm.
I'm crazy. I don't want you to
Hmm.
think I done lost my mind. I just want you to love on me and embrace me. But instead,
Hmm.
y'all figuring out every way to tie me
Hmm.
down. And I'm just like, I just want to step outside myself for a minute and just help you to
Hmm.
understand what I need you to, and no matter
Yeah.
what I said, it sounded nuts. And
Yeah.
so nobody was listening to me. And I just wish that I could have been able to rewind the tape and say what you just said. I need you to know what I need.
Yeah, but you know what? And I didn't learn that until this second miscarriage, and some more stuff that has happened that happened around that time, to like vocalize my needs. And I was dealing with so much around that time that I had the second miscarriage. My family lost a lot of loved ones. I buried a lot of close friends and a
Yeah.
lot of close family members all around that same time. Um, and I remember sitting in therapy, and we were just talking about, I was being like, I do this for everybody, I'm that for everybody. They call me, da 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 da, yada yada. And my therapist said to me, because people view you as strong, and that's the narrative that we need to kick out. Um,
Mm.
but you have to start telling people what you need. And so I'm real confident now. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'm stressed out. Please, please don't do that. Leave me alone. Or your words are hurtful to me. I don't like that. Or that behavior that you just did, that doesn't make me feel good. I don't like that. So I'm more vocal now, but it took me in that time frame to learn it, and I'm still learning it and still practicing and growing and evolving in it, because a lot of times we will deny our own need to make sure somebody else feels okay. So if I tell you you hurt my feelings, but I don't want to hurt their feelings, so because they hurt my feelings, oh no, then you dishonor yourself.
Yeah,
You
that part.
dishonor
Yes.
yourself. And then you got to give people the opportunity to love you back, because you don't know. Somebody may say, dang, I didn't realize I hurt you. And I'm sorry. And now you on a whole new level of growth and evolvement, you know? So we have to start showing up for ourselves as much as we show up for other people.
Yes. And you know what? That leads me right into what's on your list, mastering self love. How do we do it?
Listen, it's so funny because I'm actually having a master class on July the 10th. It's online. So you can definitely get tickets. Um, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be kind to yourself. And it's literally making the decision every day to show up and choose you. Now, I'm not going to give too much detail because I want y'all to come to this masterclass that I'm having on July 10th. But literally, it's in how you set your boundaries. It's how you honor yourself. It's how you don't settle. Self-love goes deeper than your appearance, because a lot of us are real beautiful on the outside, but we are so hurt on the inside. We're so mean, or we're so bitter, or we carry so much unforgiveness, and that's not love. There's no love in that for yourself. Um, so yeah, self-love, the journey to self-love is not an easy one. And sometimes it can feel real lonely when you start setting boundaries with people and start telling them how you really feel and how you don't like that and how you start showing up for yourself, and then people start leaving you alone. It don't feel good, but it makes way for everybody that is meant to be in your life and all the things that are meant to be in your life. So I say the journey for self-love is the one that's worth it. And in my masterclass, I'm actually going to tell a little bit more about my story, how I started my self-love journey, how I thought I loved myself. So when I um, had my miscarriage with my son Caleb, I thought I was doing I attractive young lady, got a degree, doing this, doing that. I love myself. Surely I love myself. It wasn't until 2018 that I realized, oh baby, but you don't, but you don't,
Mm,
but you don't.
mm. Girlfriend, you said a mouthful. Because I'm telling you, we walk around here with this image
Mhm.
that we are doing well. And I
Mhm.
love how you said we look good on the outside, but we
Mhm.
got all this pain on the inside, all this
Mhm.
hurt that's going on.
Mhm.
And I've been on this thing lately that we've got to work inside out, because we internalize everything,
Everything.
but then
Mhm.
we project out.
Mhm.
And we've got to stop doing that. Because while
Mhm.
we're internalizing, this is where anxiety and depression and our
Mhm.
suffering and our mental illness comes from. And people don't
Mhm.
understand, when you
Mhm.
start having all this high blood pressure and these
Mhm.
heart diseases and
Mhm.
all of this stuff that starts to break your body down, it breaks you
Mhm.
down from the inside. And then it starts to show, because when you're walking around with heart problems, you
Mhm.
don't know it. When you're walking around with high blood pressure,
Mhm.
these are things you can't see,
Mhm.
because it's internally happening
Mhm.
to you
Mhm.
until it's broken you all the way down, and then it starts
Yes.
showing outwardly. So
Yeah.
we've got to start cleansing inside out. You are, girl, you're healing folks tonight. You're
I
healing us.
hope
and
so.
so
It's
and so
kingdom
I
work.
mean, when you start loving yourself,
Mhm.
then you learn to manage the grief that's on your list,
Mhm.
and you start learning
Mhm.
to solve this trauma because it's
Mhm.
deeply rooted. And so,
Mhm.
how has it changed your life in healing
Oh,
other people? How has it changed your life?
and helping other people heal themselves.
Yes.
Oh, I don't. You know what? I think it's been more transformative for me to change my own life. But it's such an honor, and I'm always humbled to just watch people that listen or come to me for therapy or come to me for advice, or they read my book or they quote my book or they say they keep it with them and stuff. It's always a humbling experience for me. But I wouldn't say I detach myself from it, but that's kingdom work. So I
Mm-hmm.
speak. So before I got on here, I just kept saying to myself, um, God, use me to get to your people. Use me to get to your people. Use me
Absolutely.
to get to your people. So I don't know. Somebody may watch this and I may never meet them. I may never meet them. So it's a wonderful feeling. But I'm more amazed at God and the wonders that He does here. But I also know that if He can do it here, if He can take this girl, oh my goodness, the things that He has done with Courtney. I mean, because I never would have known that I would be here doing this and doing what I do, And so if He can do this for me, He can do it for anybody. I mean, absolutely anybody. And that's why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. Because I may
Yeah.
not see you when you get to your full transformation, but I know that there is something when we met, God did what He had to do.
Yes. And I've always been told what happens to you happens for you so that you can help others. And
Hmm.
so a lot of times when we're going through something, we don't even realize that it's so that we can strengthen others. And that's
Hmm.
what you are in the business of, strengthening others for the kingdom
Hmm.
of God. And He
Hmm.
is using you well. He's prepared you fully and He is
Thank
using
you.
you well. And you can see the grace of God all over you. So I commend you
Girl,
for the work
don't
that
don't
you
get
do.
me all teary-eyed.
Girl, but I'm telling you, and this is
You-
what I love about those who do the Lord's work, because I don't take this lightly. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
don't take the Lord's work lightly. And I laugh and joke. My grandma said this. I laugh and joke, but I don't play when it comes to the Lord's work. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I love to be funny and stuff, but when it comes to doing kingdom work, I take it very serious. And when I meet other people that are about our Father's business,
Mhm.
I want folks to know this is for real,
Yes.
and you can come from all different kinds of walks of life. You can go
Mhm.
through some things, but when
Mhm.
God has got an anointing on your life and He is using
Mhm.
you for the greater good, your
Mhm.
voice needs to be heard because you've got something for the people, and He's gonna get you out there one way or another. And
Mhm.
so whoever you're speaking to, they gonna hear you. Whatever God got for you, He gonna put you in front of the people. And
Amen.
like you said, you may never be able to know who those people are, but He knows. He
Amen.
knows the time and the
Mhm.
place and everything
Mhm.
where the healing needs to be. And just putting
Absolutely.
us together as a divine connection to know that He interceded us for some reason, for somebody to be able to be connected between us, you
Mhm.
know for for whatever reason that we came together. It's somebody that needed to be reached through this. So I thank you
Absolutely.
for being obedient, and I thank myself for doing whatever it is that God called us to do, that we did it so that somebody could get this message. And so
Absolutely.
thank you for telling your story,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for not being afraid and for being bold to
Mhm.
stand up and speak out. I want to ask you though, as far as in the minority community, and we,
Mhm.
because I don't think we talk about this enough, because I'm telling you, when I started talking about what I do, people looked at me like I was crazy.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
what are you talking about? It's like,
Mhm.
it's, we don't go to therapy, or we don't do that. And it's like,
Mhm.
you don't have to have, um you know well, people think that, well, I don't have a problem, or I don't have a this, or I don't. And it's like, it's not about having a problem, because I'm in
Mhm.
ministry and I wear a lot of hats, and I have to go through a lot. But sometimes it's not somebody that I can talk to easily that gets it. And so I
Mhm.
have a therapist that I talk
Mhm.
to, and
Mhm.
it's good to have that release.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so sometimes we need somebody that we can talk to that just listens, that just
Mhm.
understands, that can guide us, or that can help us to understand what it is that we might be feeling or going through. But
Mhm.
in the minority community, I think it's a stigma sometimes
Mhm.
to be able to do that. What have you seen, I guess, in your practice,
Mhm.
on the minority level, or let me see how I can word it, that is it getting easier to reach us on that level, to get us to understand that it's okay for us to ask for help,
Mhm.
and
I.
and for us to not be bothered about what people think or how
Mhm.
they're stereotyping or looking at us?
Mhm. Mhm. I feel like it is. I feel like there's movement there. I don't think that the work will ever fully be done because I mean there's so many things that we have to like chisel away at, like those beliefs or the fear. Or so when you think about white communities and things where mental health is easy accessible, it's not for us. Or I often think about the angry black woman concept that is easily thrown around, but anger is a human emotion that everybody feels. So why is it okay for everybody else to be mad, but black women can't be mad? Or why is it when a black woman stands up for herself that all of a sudden she's labeled as angry? But I think there's movement there. I think the more we have the conversations, I think the more we do things like this, I think, you being honest about you going to therapy, me being a therapist and say I go to therapy, us being honest about those things help people get the courage to do that. And I remember just last week I was telling some clients, you can't tell me that my Jesus didn't tell us to go to therapy. I mean, there's nothing that in the Bible that he did not endure that we don't endure. I believe that God
Mm.
went through anxiety. You can't tell me that he went to go die on a cross and he wasn't afraid, that he wasn't
He
worried.
was sweating blood. Come on now.
That he was, there's so many, and you can't, and there's so many other things in the Bible and the stories, but it's all about perception and things. And I always tell people, because I know a lot of times people, they want, particularly like Christian counselors or things, because I don't know if they think people who are not Christian counselors are demonic. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. But I wake up and I pray every day, you know. And if I'm not praying, I'm listening to worship music, or I'm connected to other people who are praying on behalf of the people that I see. So I don't go into this field without him. I don't move without him. And so if that's for somebody that's just like, well, I want a Christian counselor, you don't know who your counselor prays to before they log on to see you or walk into that office to see you. And if you want to, you can ask. I mean, it's up to them to decide whether or not they disclose that information. But I will say overall there is movement in it, and we just have to keep speaking up. When I see clients that are older, for one, I'm always humbled and honored that they're gonna come to see little old me. Because I know it's hard for the older generation to come and talk to somebody in their 30s or whatever. But I always commend them. I thank them for being here. You are a game changer in your generation because there's so many other people like you who will still refuse to go to therapy. And so I commend the young kids when they come, especially my teenagers when I'm working in them. Oh, you finna get all the skills and the knowledge. So I always like gas them up when they show up, because it's very, very hard to put yourself in front of somebody that is a complete stranger and then tell all your business to or whatever you want them to know.
Mm.
So, but there is movement there. I
Absolutely.
think we have to keep moving and keep doing what we do to continue to change the narrative. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think if when they start seeing more people, when we start seeing more people, I said they, we, us, me,
Hmm.
myself, you, when we
Hmm.
start seeing more people that look like us that are in this business, I think we will be more susceptible to going and sit down. But sometimes I think we also feel like, well, I don't want them telling my business. This is confidentiality. You
Hmm.
know, if you come and sit down before me, whatever you tell me is not going out of that door. And so,
Hmm.
and I, at first when I have clients, I'm always so, I want to be very personal and let them know, hey, when you come here, I'm like kind of overprotective. I promise you, you don't have to worry about anything. And, and then I try to make them feel comfortable. And I get so worried thinking that I want you to trust me. I want you to trust me. I don't want you to think that I'm
Hmm.
going to go tell them, and I think that sometimes I get nervous thinking that because of who I am, they're not going to trust me. And this
Hmm.
is a stigma even within myself that,
Hmm.
I feel like, why do I have to feel like that with my
Hmm.
own people, that they're
Hmm.
not going to trust me because of who I am, because of how we've been labeled? And I don't feel that way anymore now,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm confident in, I know what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
have, and I'm confident in knowing that we have to help each other, and it's
Hmm.
important, and we can make a difference in
Hmm.
each other's lives. And that's why I like when I can get people like yourself to come on, so we can see different people in our community that are
Hmm.
making differences in people's lives, that are educated, that are
Hmm.
informed, that have been through some stuff, that
Hmm.
have come out We might have some scars, we might have been broken, we might have been bruised, but look at what God can do. He can
Mhm.
turn that thing around, and we
Mhm.
can speak and attest to it, but we can help other people heal. And so tell us about your book. What's the name of your book, and what does it talk about? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I have it here. It's called
Yes, yes, queen.
can you see it? Okay. It's
Yes.
called Glow Up Sis Glow Up, and it's a 31 days of affirmations. And I actually this is not the first book I wrote, and it's the first book that I published and have released. But this book I wrote to myself. I wrote 31 days of affirmations to myself, and these affirmations they go beyond the surface. I did not know though. I did not know that when I released this book. I released this in 2018. Um, in April of 2018, right before my 28th birthday. Yeah. What I did not know was that God was going to send me through a season where I really, really needed this book, and it was hard. So I wrote the affirmations for myself. Um, and then I was like, if I need these affirmations, other people need these affirmations to go beyond the surface, to beyond I'm smart, I'm kind, but oh, you need to check your attitude and quit quitting all your friends. It may be you, and all these different things that other people need them too. But after I released this book, I entered into a season, a heavy season, and so now this book hits a whole lot different. And it's also a reason why I also am doing my master class, my self love master class. So it's called Glow Up Sis Self Love Master Class because it's hitting different now. It's hitting in a whole different space. So like as I minister to other people or as I do things for other people, it's for me as much as it is for everybody else. Um, and so yeah, so you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on my website. Go to my website www.courtneyorlesia.com. Order directly from me. I will send you a personalized signed copy. And yeah, so.
Amen. Yes. And if people want to work with you,
Mhm.
how do they do that?
Okay, so I am licensed in the state of Tennessee. I send me, you can go to my website, you can send me a message, and I can tell you more information about how to connect you with the agency that I work for. So yeah. So, but you have to live in Tennessee for me to provide you with psychotherapy services because I'm not licensed in other states yet.
So
Um,
you can't do it online. Even you can't do it online. They'd have to live in your state,
They would have
correct?
to live in the state of Tennessee. Yep. They would have to, their address will have to be in Tennessee. So we do online therapy and things like that, but I'm not licensed in other states. So I'm just currently licensed in Tennessee. However, though, you can subscribe to my mailing list. I do a lot of stuff like on my social media. So I write a lot, I release a lot of blogs. You can follow me on Instagram. You can hit me up. I'm going to talk to you because I like to talk. I like to laugh. I like to be foolish too. Um, so there's different ways that you can connect to me, but as far as me providing you therapeutic services, you have to be a resident of Tennessee.
Okay. All right.
As
Cool.
of, right now, though, right now, that's just a right now thing. God ain't done
Yeah. Yeah, because we're gonna talk after this, and we're gonna see about some things for you, girlfriend. Because I
yet. Mhm.
see you going some places.
Thank you.
I do. I do. I
Thank
just
you.
I feel very inspired by you, and I see you changing the lives of some others. And so I definitely want to talk some more with you after we get off of this call because I see you doing some mighty good work out there, and I just know that you're gonna reach a lot of people, and God is very pleased with you right now. I can tell that.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
So,
That for sure
what
means a
else
lot.
is it that you would like people to know about you and your work?
Um, I don't really know. I think I kind of shared it all. I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do. It's hard sometimes, but I still show up. And I'm human. I'm human just like everybody else. So I have human experiences. And that's another reason why I try to be as transparent as possible. Um, but I think we covered it all, honestly. I don't think there's really anything else that I would want to add to that.
All right, all right. Well, I think that you have served us tonight. I'm full. I got a lot, and I think that you have really spoke to some hearts tonight about healing and being transparent.
Mhm.
And so, if you got something out of this, I think you should be able to at least understand what it is to be human.
Mhm.
because we all are. We all are
Mhm.
human. We all
Mhm.
have a story. We all go through some things. But when we go through some things, understand we're going to come out of it one way
Mhm.
or another.
Mhm.
Now, when you go through some things, you may not understand what you're encountering, what you're going through, what it's going to look like, and what it's going to be like when you come out. But what you
Mhm.
can know is when you come out of it, it's up to you how you come out of it.
Mhm.
It's up to
Mhm.
you how you respond to your
Mhm.
situations. Are
Absolutely.
you going to come out and just decide that you're going to give up?
Mhm.
Or are you going to decide that what didn't kill you is about to make you stronger and you are going to pick up your cross
Mhm.
and you're going to tell your story so that the
Mhm.
next person that go through something can get through it
Mhm.
a little bit better because you have paved the way and you made it through. And just because you made it through, they'll know that they can make it through. And then the next person will be able to make it through, and the person after that. See, we have got to start building bridges instead of
Mhm.
burning bridges so that everybody can get across.
Absolutely. And
God has made a way out of no way for us. Come on,
yeah,
girlfriend, what you got?
absolutely. You just made me think. So one of my pastors that I grew up with, he would always say, "If you quit, you'll never see what the end is going to be."
There you go.
And there's been plenty of times where I wanted to quit. There's been plenty of times. Me being here today is the grace of God, and His hands on it all. Because there was a time where I didn't know if I wanted to be here anymore, and so there is absolutely nothing that you cannot get through. And it may be hard to, but lean on people and your support system. I guess I can add this. Your support system may not be who you want it to be. It may not be your close friends. It may not be your family, but it may be the people at the AA meeting. It may be your therapist. It may be at whatever you are. It may be the stranger at the grocery store. But take that in, and be kind to yourself, give yourself grace. But if you quit, you'll never see. If I would have gave up, if I would have quit, if I would have thrown in the towel, I would never be here right now. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Amen. Don't give up. Thank you for everything because it's so funny. Today, I took my daughter to the dentist and her appointment is until tomorrow. And
Hmm.
so I was like, well, we're going to have a breakfast before we go do this send off to the army. And so I was like, let's go get some fruit at the grocery store. And so when we get there, one of the ladies that always helps me at the grocery store, she's like, I'm so glad you're here. I was praying that you came. She was like, I have two children that I haven't seen in 20 years.
Hmm.
And she said, I got six kids and I haven't seen these two in 20 years. And I said, you found them on social media? She said, they found me. And she said,
Hmm.
and I'm getting ready to meet them in a couple of days. She said, the
Hmm.
last time I seen them, they were 4 and 5 years old. And she pulled up a
Hmm.
picture and she just hugged me and she started crying. And she was
Hmm.
like, I just thank you so much because every time you come in here, you just always listen to what I got to say. And you just
Hmm.
always help me get through things. And she said,
Hmm.
and I just wish you was here today so I could share this news with you. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, see, you just, like you said, you don't know who your support system is
Hmm.
going to be. And
Hmm.
that just, when she told me that, that just inspired me because I was just like, I'm not even supposed to be out right now, but because I'm at the dentist a day early, and then I decided to come to the grocery store. See, God know what He
Yeah.
be doing,
Hmm. Hmm.
because I could have
Hmm.
been the old Tanika would have been like, I'm mad that I done had to be at this dentist. I would have been fussing, but
Hmm.
you said something when we got on this call about self love and mastering self love. You said you got to be patient with yourself.
Hmm.
You said you got to be kind to yourself. You got to
Hmm.
show up and you got to choose you and you got to set boundaries.
Hmm.
And because I've learned how to do those things, I'm
Hmm.
not that old person. And I was able to be patient with myself today and
Hmm.
take the time, go to
Hmm.
that grocery store
Hmm.
and be there and be a support system to somebody I didn't even know I needed to be a support system to.
Yeah.
So you, again, have shown some clarity on this day. So I thank you. And see,
Mhm,
you don't even know sometimes when God is using you to be a blessing in
mhm,
somebody's life,
mhm,
and so you are that vessel and that vehicle that He is using to transport someone to the next place that they need to be. So
mhm.
I just thank you for the work that you're doing. I commend you. What's next for you? You got the master. Oh, she's got the master class coming up on
Mhm.
July 10th. Tell us where do they get the tickets and how much do they cost? Come on,
So
plug
the
yourself, girl.
ticket, the tickets are $25. They are on
$25.
Eventbrite.
Come on, y'all buy pizzas for more than pizzas
Right.
for more.
Y'all buy a lot of things more than
Starbucks for
$25.
a $5 cup of Starbucks is way. It's gonna make you sick later on. This is gonna give you life. Come on.
Right. This is going to help change your life for sure. So $25. You can get the tickets on Eventbrite. I can send you the link so that you can probably link it somewhere so people can easily access
Yeah,
it.
I'll put it on the
Um,
website.
Okay, for sure. And then like if you go to my Instagram page and go to my link tree, the bio, the link, excuse me, is there in the bio. So it's at July 10th, that's on a Saturday. It's from 10 to 11:30 online. So you can be anywhere in the world. And so that's what I say, I can't offer therapy services, but I am doing this in conjunction with my book Go Up Sis. And so there's different things that I would do as life continues on and God pours into me. And so this is one of them. And so I'm also pursuing my clinical license. So in the state of Tennessee, with social work, you have to have your LCSW, and that's the highest. So I'm currently in the process of that. So y'all send prayers for your girl, blessings for your girl. And if you have friends or family in Tennessee, or maybe you're watching this and you're in Tennessee, I am accepting new clients. So definitely reach out to me. So yeah, I think that's all I'm doing right about now.
All right. Well, God bless you and all your efforts and all that you are seeking to do. God is surely guiding your footsteps. So I thank you for coming on Mind Your Business. Mind Your Business is mindful intentions that nurture and drive your business. And you definitely are mindful about your intentions. You are nurturing and driving your business. So thank you for doing the Lord's work. Again, always be mindful of what you do in life because you never know where you might be, who's watching, and where it might lead you.
Mhm.
Always, always be your best self because
Absolutely.
someone out there can learn from you and can look to you to be healed. Do
Absolutely.
God's work. It's kingdom work to be done. This young lady has truly been a blessing. So, if you are in her neck of the woods, and you just want to learn a little bit more about how therapy can help you about getting some mental clarity, about just getting some direction in your life, look her up. She's on
Mhm.
social media. She
Mhm.
has got books, Glow Up, 31 Days of Affirmations on Amazon, but you can go to her website. Tell them your website again.
www.courtneyarlesia.com. Arlesia is spelled Arlesia.
And it will be a link on our website under Network Friends. So you will be able to contact her that way as well.
Mhm.
Now, remember, people, you were created with a purpose. So you might as well go ahead and be great. Come back and see me tonight, 10:35, when we talk about mindfulness and do a mindful meditation on self love. So we'll talk to you later on. Have a peaceful evening until then. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you soon. God bless
Bye.
you.